The average person who earns more money this year will feel exactly as broke as they did last year. That's not a metaphor, it's been measured. Somewhere between your first paycheck and your fifth raise, something quietly stops working. Nobody warns you when it happens. You just wake up one day making more than you ever imagined, and somehow still checking your bank balance like you're broke. Average Joe got a raise this year. He told everyone he knew. He felt rich for exactly 4 days. Then rent went up. His phone screen cracked, and a subscription he forgot about quietly charged him for a gym he hasn't visited since January. By Friday, the raise had evaporated, not because he spent recklessly, because something in his brain had already spent it for him. This isn't a Joe problem, it's a brain problem, and economists gave it a name decades ago. They call it the hedonic treadmill. Your happiness doesn't rise with your income. It resets to roughly the same baseline, no matter how much money passes through your hands. Researchers noticed this watching 2 very different groups, lottery winners and accident survivors. Within about a year, both groups drifted back to roughly the same mood they started with, which is a strange thing to have in common. Winning a fortune and losing the use of your legs, both ending up near the same emotional starting line. If happiness resets that fast, more salary was never going to fix the feeling permanently. It was only ever going to rearrange the furniture in the same room. Here's the part almost nobody warns you about. The treadmill doesn't just reset your mood, it quietly redraws your math. The moment your income rises, your brain redraws the line for what counts as enough. Economists call this a shifting reference point. You stop comparing your life to where you started. You start comparing it to where you could now be. A studio apartment felt like freedom at 22. The exact same apartment feels like failure at 32. Once your income says you should have outgrown it, nothing about the apartment changed. Only the number next to your name did. There's a second force making this worse. Humans don't just compare their life to their past self. They compare it to everyone around them. Psychologists call this social comparison, and researchers have studied it since the 1950s. For most of history, everyone around you meant your neighbors, your co-workers, maybe a cousin who did unusually well. Now it means a curated highlight reel from thousands of strangers, refreshed every time you open your phone. You're no longer just chasing your own moving finish line. You're chasing thousands of other people's finish lines at the same time. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. This reaction isn't just a quirk of human psychology. It's a business opportunity, and entire industries are built around triggering it. The moment you earn more, you quietly become a more profitable target. The bank raises your credit limit before you even ask for it. The car dealership starts showing you the trim level just above what you can comfortably afford. The apartment listings nudge toward the next price bracket up. None of this requires a conspiracy. Nobody needs to coordinate a meeting about it. Every business is simply reading the same signal at the same time. This person can now absorb slightly more financial pain. Even the CEO upstairs, smiling in his quarterly review, is reading the exact same signal about his own employees. Researchers have a name for what happens next: lifestyle creep, and it spreads in a strangely predictable order. First, the home gets a little nicer. Then the car upgrades to match the home. Then the wardrobe upgrades to match the car. Then the vacations upgrade to match the wardrobe. Each individual upgrade feels completely justified. You earned it, after all. But stack 12 justified upgrades together, and your expenses have quietly climbed to meet your income, almost line for line. There's an old saying about this in personal finance circles: expenses expand to fill whatever income becomes available. It sounds like a joke. It behaves like a law. The cruelest part is that none of these upgrades arrive with a receipt explaining why you suddenly feel broke again. They arrive disguised as 12 separate, perfectly reasonable decisions. So does more money ever actually fix this? Researchers have spent years trying to answer that question honestly. One well-known study suggested emotional well-being plateaus once income crosses a certain point, after which extra money barely moves the needle. Later research complicated that picture, finding that for most people, well-being keeps climbing well past that point. But the same later research found a smaller group whose unhappiness doesn't improve no matter how much they earn. Money, it turns out, fixes the problems money can actually solve. It does nothing for the problem quietly rewriting your finish line every time your paycheck grows. Your salary was never broken. The finish line was just designed to move every time you got close to it. Average Joe didn't actually need a bigger raise. He needed to notice the line moving in the first place. Because the moment you can see the treadmill, you can finally choose to step off it instead of running faster on top of it. Your salary was never the problem. The goalpost was just very good at its job.